Hi, today I'd like to show you how to make my multi-bracelet, and we're going to make this on the Prumihimo Disk. Now I call it a multi-bracelet because it's multi-braid and it's multi-colour, so it's lots of fun. And what I'm going to use is this sort of variegated cord, which is a cord that's dyed in all sorts of different colours. And it's great fun to use. It can be a little bit overwhelming if you use it on its own, but if you use it with a neutral colour or with black, you can get a really great effect. And I'm going to show you a close-up of this bracelet in a moment, but first of all, I just want to explain how to use this cord. Now, most of it, unless you buy very exclusive cord, you'll find that it's machine dyed. So the advantage of that is it's got a repeat on it. So for this bracelet, you need to have two cords of 150 centimetres, which is 60 inches. And so what you need to do is measure out your long length, first of all, your 150 centimetres. And then from the roll, just find a part where the colour is different to the beginning of the cut piece. And then measure your next piece. So you start there, snip off the excess, and then measure your next piece from there. Because for this particular bracelet, you want to have different colours popping up in the braid. There are other sorts of braid that you might want to do where you match up the colours all the way. And so you work in a very similar way. You cut your first piece and then you find on the cord the point where that piece matches up, that colour matches up, and then very carefully line them up. So anyhow, let me show you how this bracelet works. So here's a close-up of the bracelet. And basically what we have is one long braid, and for a medium size you need about 60 centimetres, which is about 24 inches. And it's wrapped round 3 times, going through a bail like this. Now these bails are quite easy to get hold of, but if you can't, you could always have a little wrap of wire there instead. And I've popped a few little shell charms on the bottom, and I've finished off with a magnetic clasp. And the way you put this bracelet on is you undo the clasp and then loosen these inner rings, slide it onto your wrist, do up the clasp, and then tighten up the rings to get it to sit correctly. And once it's on, it's a very secure and comfortable bracelet to wear. So this is the setup. You're going to use the Prumihimo Disk. I've mentioned the quantities already. We're going to use lengths of 150 centimetres, which is about 60 inches. You need 2 cords of your thicker cord, which in this case I've used a 1.5 millimetre, but you could use 1 or 2 millimetre satin cords. And you're going to have your coloured cords in the top slot at number 1 and the bottom slot at number 2. Then you're going to have your plain colour here, and I'm using black, and your thinner cords need to be the same length as well. We're not going to use beads on these. This is a plain braid, so you don't need extra length for your thinner cords. And you're going to braid in exactly the same way as you normally would on the Prumihimo Disk. Use a weight. I'm going to use my fingers because I'm holding it over a table, so that doesn't give me quite such good tension. But I recommend you using a 50-gram weight for this. And quite simply, all you have to do is starting at number 1, top to bottom, bottom to top, bottom across, turn to number 2, and this is where it would be better if I had a weight on. See, I'm just having to grip it underneath there, and it is migrating a tiny bit for me. Top to bottom, bottom to top, bottom across. Now I'm moving to number 3, top to bottom to top, bottom across, and round to number 4. Top to bottom to top, bottom across. Always remembering those 3 moves at each point. And then when you've done your 4, we've been from 1, 2, 3 to 4, you return to 1 and continue. And this is what you need to end up with. So here is my 60 centimetre braid, 24-inch braid. And what I've done here is, after removing it from the disc and knotting it, I've quite simply sealed the end of the braid here and here with glue, and I've used the same glue that I'm going to use to glue on the end. So for me that was 2-part epoxy resin, but you could be using E6000 or you could be using a gel super glue. They're equally good. Now what you need to do is set the bracelet up. Now it's important that you put your bail and your charm on before you put your ends on, of course. And all you need to do is thread through once, twice, and you're going to do it a third time. Now this is going to be tight. So what you've got to do is really pull those braids down tightly. And so you can get through a third time. There we go. Pull it through. And now you just need to make it the right size. So you can see there's a little bit of manipulation needs to go on to get it the right size. And to put it on, take it on and off, you loosen these and slip your hand through, and then you tighten them again once it's on. So now, having done that, I need to make it a tiny bit bigger there. There we go. Because I want to make room for my clasp. There we go, that will work perfectly. I'm just going to move that round to the front. It's a great thing about braids, you can manipulate them very nicely. And then I'm going to put on my clasp. It could be any sort of clasp. I'm going to use a magnetic clasp. So that just needs to be glued on using the same glue. Same type of glue, so there are no compatibility issues that you used before. And as you can see with this one, I've gone for paler colours, a paler variegated cord and a cream background, which gives it quite a different look. So that's how it's made. Well, I hope you've had fun with that. And I hope you'll agree that it's a very pretty little bracelet and lots of fun. But it could be more serious if you want to do just in black. You know, they're also, with any sort of design, you can make it your own by doing it your own way. You can even dye your own cords if you want to, using permanent marker pens and giving them a really thorough wash, relatively hot wash to set the colours, and then you can have a lot of fun with that yourself. And this design could even be made into a necklace as well. So have fun playing with that. And in the meantime, don't forget, I've got all sorts of interesting things on my website, and that's where you can get hold of my Prumihimo Disk as well. And I have a book all about the Prumihimo Disk. And as I always say at the end of these videos, so forgive me if you've heard it before, but do subscribe to the channel. The advantage for you is that you will be notified when I have new videos coming up. And the advantage for me is I know that people are following me and it encourages me to make more. So it works for both of us. So until the next time, bye.